GM Fabiano Caruana was the first player to progress to the quarterfinals of the 2022 Speed Chess Championship on Wednesday, after defeating GM Arjun Arigasi in a nail-biting curtain raiser for the main event. Arigasi built a strong lead early. However, Caruana came in clutch with a 4-game win streak in the 3+1 section, carrying the momentum into the bullet portion. Caruana was able to secure the match with a score of 14.5 to 12.5, eliminating his dangerous challenger. The next round of 16 match between GMs Ding Liren and Alexander Grishik will take place on November 27th. At 6 a.m. PT 16.00 set. The match started with a bang and produced one of the most exciting draws of the day. Arigasi took the mantra, "Passed pawns must be pushed literally," and sacrificed a rook in favor of running his passed pawn. His calculations paid off, and the Indian sensation promoted moves later, though he was unable to find the winning line, and conceded a repetition. On his new podcast C², Caruana heaped praise on Arigasi and dubbed him as the Indian junior most likely to reach 2800. Familiar with his meteoric rise to the upper echelons of chess, Caruana was clearly taking his opponent very seriously. In the second game, the match opened up, and Arigasi took an early lead with a stunning 15-move win against the US champion. Things unraveled quickly for Caruana, as a theoretical rook sacrifice in the Polirio bishop check line in the Italian game went horribly wrong. Back-to-back wins were on the menu for Arigasi several games later, as he extended his lead to 3 points. The second of these wins was an ominous sign for Caruana, who failed to capitalize on a series of mistakes from Arigasi and eventually lost the game. A single win was the only reprieve Caruana could find in the 5+1 segment, though it provided little solace, as Arigasi was able to respond with a riposte of his own in the ninth and final game before the break, flagging Caruana in an even endgame. Caruana later talked about how his match strategy had to change after Arigasi's remarkable run in the early stages, remarking, "Before the match, I thought the 5+1 segment might be 50-50. But then I started to reconsider once he started outplaying me in every game, staring down a 3-point deficit and in need of a resurgence." The experience of Caruana shone through, and a blistering run in the 3+1 portion saw him take the lead. A Tory attack gone wrong for Arigasi was the beginning of the mammoth momentum swing that went a long way in determining the winner of the match. A quiet version of the Slav defense was anything but in Game 11, and by move 17, a brilliant knight sacrifice was calling for the opening to be renamed. The resulting pin allowed Caruana to stack the queenside with attacking pieces, and Arigasi was left flailing. 4 straight wins for Caruana meant that Arigasi's lead had completely dissipated, and just over 2 hours into the match, Caruana took the lead for the first time. A flash of artistry from Arigasi allowed him to even the scores in the 16th game, and a second win then pushed him in front once more. The lead was short-lived though, and Caruana didn't let the Indian player run away on the scoreboard again. In classic Speed Chess Championship fashion, the bullet portion decided the winner on Wednesday, and it was Caruana who stepped up to the mark and came out in front. The pair traded blows throughout the portion, and kept within a single point of each other for the most part, contrasting the imbalanced ebb and flow that characterized the early stages of the match. Caruana scored his most important victory in the penultimate game, which ultimately decided the match. Deep into a Petrov and with only 10 seconds left on the clock, Arigasi made a fatal error that would leave Caruana with a 1-point buffer heading into the final game. Caruana was able to secure the result with a smooth win in the final game on Wednesday, and booked himself a quarterfinal spot in the Speed Chess Championship, as well as $3,074.07. Arigasi earned $925.93 for his efforts. Should world champion Magnus Carlsen overcome GM Gukishti in their round of 16 encounter, a mouth-watering clash would await the former world championship combatants. The World Team Chess Championship in Jerusalem saw Uzbekistan and China continue to perform exceptionally, knocking out Ukraine and Poland. Spain defeated the powerhouse Azerbaijan team. India pulled ahead of France in a riveting blitz playoff. The semifinals begin on Thursday, November 24th, starting at 5 a.m. PT 1400 hours set. China defeated Poland with key victories by GM Liu Shanglei and GM Bai Jinshi in round 1. Bai won versus GM Matas Bartel with a crafty counterattack. Uzbekistan defeated Ukraine in both rounds. GM Shamsuddin Vakadov discovered an unbelievable tactical idea in his game versus GM Andrei Volokhin. The Uzbekistan team is again putting on a sensational performance, proving that the gold medal at the Olympiad was not a fluke. India won the first round, but France struck back in the next to send the match into a blitz playoff. GMs Nil Sarin and Srinath Narayanan both came through with victories to clinch the match for India. With just seconds on the clock in a sharp position, Nil, one of the most resourceful blitz players there is, worked his magic to turn an even position into a victory. Narayanan showed remarkable foresight to simplify into a winning pawn down king and pawn ending. Despite Azerbaijan's strong finish in the previous stage, Spain knocked them out in a close match, drawing the first round and winning the second by 1 point. GMs Miguel Santos and David Anton helped their team edge ahead with victories over GM Rauf Mamedov and GM Tamer Rajabov. Anton gained his win by turning an even 2 bishop and rook ending into a tactical skirmish. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more daily chess news.